What's going on, family? This is Richie coming at you with the very first episode of The Bridge. Now, basically, this is a Christian podcast where we come together and we talk about all the events that's going on in the world today. We discuss politics. We discuss social issues. We get into the issues of the black community. We get into social media. We're basically going to be getting into all the issues that are going on right now. I will be explaining what God has to say about these issues by basically showing you what he already said about them in the Bible. Everything that's going on right now is not that much different from the events that went on in the Bible. But before we get into all that, let's do a quick recap of 2020. Now, this time last year, December 2019, I was on the phone with a friend of mine, and basically we had this feeling that 2020 was going to be this really, really bomb year. We had this feeling that 2020 was going to be this awesome year where basically good things were going to be happening for us and for people that we knew. We just had this really, really good feeling, and we were talking about our plans for 2020. He had some goals he wanted to achieve. I had goals I wanted to achieve. We were both pumped up about 2020. We had already had plans. We had even named it. We claimed it. We were trying to speak it into existence. And then 2020 actually happened. And as soon as 2020 happened, World War III almost broke out. America almost went to war. Then a few weeks after that, Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash. And then a few weeks after that, Corona made its way all the way from China to America, and Corona cases in America went up, causing the whole country to be a nationwide lockdown. And then 3 months into that, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and George Floyd were killed. And then after that, the world decided to engage in a worldwide protest. The protests turned into riots, and people were losing their businesses. Businesses were getting burned down. And then after that, we had a crazy election between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. And all these things going around in the world that were basically happening in our society, you add that on top of the fact that in my own personal life, it feels like everybody I know had somebody that had died in a car crash, or people were dying from Corona. People I know got shot to gang violence. It just seems like all these things were happening in the world, and 2020 was just this awful year. And now here I am, December of 2020, a year from the time I had my conversation with my friend, and I had told him this time a year ago that I was pumped up about 2020, and now here I am in December where I can't wait for 2020 to be over. So basically, I said all that to say that 2021, everybody is so ready for 2021. And I keep thinking about this Bible verse that comes up where it talks about in James chapter 4, verses 13, where he basically says, the writer James says, your life is a vapor. You should not talk about what you're going to do in the future. Don't talk about how in the future you're going to make these plans and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And the reason why you shouldn't do that is because your life is like a vapor. It's here today and it's gone tomorrow. That's why he says you really shouldn't make plans for the future as if you have some kind of control over your life. If 2020 should have taught y'all anything, is that you don't have control over nothing. In 2020, basically, I was one of those people I was trying to name it and claim it. I was doing the whole law of attraction thing. I was basically saying, in 2020, I'm going to get plenty. I came up with these corny catchphrases that everybody likes to do. In 2020, I'm going to get plenty. 2021, I'm going to get it done. 2022, I'm going to do what it do. 2023, it's going to happen for me. 2024, I'm knocking down the door. 2025, can't believe I'm still alive. 2026, if it's broke, I'm going to fix it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm trying to say. God says you really shouldn't do stuff like that or talk like that because that's a real arrogant way of thinking. Your life is like a vapor. You're here today and you're gone tomorrow. Now, if you ever seen somebody smoke a cigarette or smoke electronic cigarette, they blow it into the air, and then afterwards they blow it into the air. It's there for like a couple of seconds, and then it just disappears into midair. Well, that's how he looks at your life. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense that he looks at your life like that, because if you go back to the book of Psalms, in chapter 90, verses 4, it says that 1,000 years down here on earth is like one day to God. So when 1,000 years pass down here, it feels like a day just passed to him up there. So think about the time, your perspective of time from yesterday to today. That's how God feels when 1,000 years has passed down here. So if 1,000 years feels like one day to him, imagine how much your 80 or 90 years that on this planet imagine how that looks to him. It looks like a vapor of smoke. That's what it looks like. And that's why you shouldn't talk like that and try to say things like, well, yeah, I'm getting ready to do this, I'm getting ready to do that, I'm getting ready to make plans. No. He didn't say you shouldn't make plans. He said just don't make them like that. What he said was, you should say, if it's God's will, these things will happen for me. That's one thing 2020 taught me, is that I'm not in control of nothing. It should have taught you that too. I mean, think about it. How many things happened this year that were totally out of your control that really just made you depressed? Don't even get me started. I can just go down the list of a whole bunch of things that happened that I didn't have no control over. It's one thing when bad things happen to me and it's because of my choices. But in 2020, things were happening to me that I had no control over, and they were causing me to be depressed. That's basically what 2020 taught me, is that you're not in control of nothing. So in 2021, moving forward, this is what you should do. You should basically say, make your plans, whatever you want to do, whatever good things you got on the horizon, make those plans, but then go to God and say, God, these are the things I want to get accomplished in 2021, and if it be your will, that's what it says in James. You should use those words. If it be your will, let these things be. If not, then please, let me to be content with whatever situation I find myself in. But that's the lesson I learned for 2020. I hope all y'all got something out of this. If you like this video, please like, subscribe. Don't be selfish. Share this video. I thank you guys for joining me. This is a brand new adventure we're going to be on, and I will see you on the next one.